Saints, this is Pastor Jay-Z Cross at Dorcasville Baptist Church. It's a privilege and honor to be with you one more Sunday. Today we talked about compassion. We talked about how the parable of the Good Samaritan, how the man was laying in the gutter, bloody, beaten, robbed, and how the Good Samaritan came by and he picked him up. We talked about God's compassion is enough, meaning that whatever situation that we're going through, his compassion is even more than the tragedy and the trouble that we're going through. Just want to encourage somebody today, if you're going through something, that God still has enough love and compassion to see about you, no matter how long you've been in your situation. This is Pastor Jay-Z Cross at Dorcasville Baptist Church, where charity is key. Thank you.
You know that something is coming in there constantly taking away from you, and you need God to refuel you because your storm ain't over yet, and your answer has not happened yet. And what's going on now is you're just receiving the brunt end of the storm, and God needs to come in periodically to remind you that he is with you. He has to periodically come in there and renew your strength, because what you're doing is fighting so much that you begin to get tired. And thank God for being a God that, although your answer may not be there, but he's sustaining you while you're waiting for your answer to happen. Amen. Many of us just want to praise him for the answer. They want to praise him for the end. But we need to praise him while we're going through that thing. We got to give him his honor while we're sitting there not understanding what's going on. Sometimes you just got to give him some praise when you just don't even understand why am I here? And why is this happening to me? You still need to give him his glory and his honor for just being who he is in your life. Amen? I don't want no praise, just thank you for it being over. I love testimonies, but a lot of times you can get out of the testimony of he already did it. And now I'm telling everybody. But I want to hear some testimonies about, Lord, I'm having a tough day, but I know you're still able. Lord, I got bad news sitting in front of me right now, but I'm still giving you some honor and glory. Lord, right now my body is sick and I am feeling it right now, but I'm still going to praise you anyhow. I'm still going to act like everything is all right. I'm still going to give you glory and your honor. Amen, somebody. I don't need no testimony. He already did it.
Right.
I want to know how you went through it.
That's right.
I get more out of how you went through than how you just got out of it. Amen, somebody. I get more out of how you went through than the finished product. Amen? This one coming out of the book of Luke, chapter, starting at verse 30.
From Jerusalem to Jericho, I fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment, and wounded him, and departed, and leaving him half dead. And by chance there came down a certain priest that way, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. And likewise a Levite, when he was at the place, came and looked on him, and passed by on the other side. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him, and went to him, and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine, and set him on his own beast, and brought him to an inn, and took care of him. And on the morrow, when he departed,
With the time that is mine this afternoon, I'd like to talk from the subject that God's compassion is enough.
I can identify with this man's story.
Yeah.
This parable speaks volumes to people who have fallen off their horse.
Yeah.
This parable speaks volumes to folks who have fallen on hard times.
Come on now.
This parable speaks volumes to those people who didn't have it easy.
Yeah.
This parable speaks volumes to those who grew up in broken homes, single family homes,
Yeah.
have lost loved ones, have been unemployed before,
Oh yeah.
have had sicknesses,
Oh yes.
have had financial crises,
Yeah.
living paycheck to paycheck, having divorces, having relationship issues, and their families being broken.
Lord Jesus.
Out of all these things I have named, I know each and every one of us can identify with at least one of those things. That you fell on hard times. And you found yourself in a gutter.
Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
You found yourself destitute in need of some help. I don't know about you, but there have been times where I have lived that same life. Where there's something in your life where it just does not seem to work in your favor. And you fight and fight and fight, and now you find yourself down and out. But I want you to know that he still has enough compassion to stop by and see about you. I don't know about you, but sometimes the longer you stand in a situation, the more and more you feel that God is not seeing where you land. I don't know about you, but there are times when life has gone on and your situation persists and you continue to pray about something and God ain't answered it yet. In the back of your mind, you begin to believe that God ain't listening for your prayer. The longer you feel as though you're alone in your fight, the more and more you begin to believe that he's not able to do anything for you. Because he's not answering your prayer. Now, folks, let's be more honest, church. Those of you who come to church and give God your 100%. You give your tithes and your offering. I'm really talking to you right now. The ones of you who give your testimony. The one of you that participates in the service. The one that prays to God every day. You feel it even more when you're in a situation and God seems not to answer your prayer. Amen, somebody. Because you're putting in all of this effort. And it seems as God is not being reciprocal in answering your prayer. To evaluate this parable is used for, well, Jesus' purpose was to tell who is the lawyer talking to him. And he began to say, who is your neighbor? And Jesus answered him in this parable. For those of you who know your scriptures, the culture in Judaism at that time was the priests were number one. Levites were number two. The Jewish man was number three. Then those tax collectors and sinners were number four. Then you had the Samaritans sitting at number 5. And so on and so on. So they had a hierarchy or a pecking order of how they viewed folks. Even in the synagogues, when they began to read the scriptures, the priest was the first one to read. Then the Levite would read. And then the Jewish man would read. So everything that they had was based on a pecking order of who's better than who. So that's why Jesus used this parable by stating that a certain man. I don't know about you, but there have been times where I was that certain man. I wasn't the Levite. I wasn't the priest. I wasn't the good Samaritan. I was the one that was in need of help. Was coming down from Jerusalem and fell among thieves. And the reason why Jesus told the parable just as this is stated that they were coming from Jerusalem going to Jericho, meaning that now service was over. The priests had done their duties, had done their duties. They were on their way back down to Jericho. Meaning that in that time, if you touched a man who was dead, you were considered to be unclean. If you mingle with somebody in that state, you didn't want to jeopardize your position. You didn't want to jeopardize your responsibility. So you would walk around somebody who was down and out. But Jesus wanted to eliminate the excuse of I'm on my way to service. He wanted to eliminate the excuse that I was on the way to the temple to do my duties and I couldn't touch an unclean person because I wouldn't be able to operate in my position. So service was already over. Their duties were already done. And they were on their way back home. So if you were to see someone in need, you did not have to be liable for your responsibilities at the synagogue. Those excuses out of the Levite and the priest's mind and their mouth said that you've already done what you had to do. You can help somebody else. How many of you have been laying in the gutter, but many people have made excuses as to why they can't help you out? They made excuses that I'm busy. They made excuses I've got to do so and so. They made excuses I don't have the money for you. They made excuses saying I don't have the time for you. They made excuses this is just too difficult for me to do. They made so many excuses while you were laying in your condition. And if you look at them, they were a Levite and a priest, so they had the means financially. They had the means as far as the respect and power in around that world to get somebody to come and help them. But instead of involving themselves with your trouble, oh, somebody about to get help right now. They decided to walk around your tragedy just so they can keep some peace in their life. And there have been times in our own lives that people did not want to mingle their stuff with our troubles because it seemed too much. They didn't want to hear about us anymore. They didn't want to see our number come across their cell phone. They didn't want to see our text message. They didn't want to meet us for lunch to talk about the tragedies that's going on in our life. They didn't want to have any parts of us. And these were people that we looked at as being someone that we could trust and confide in. The one who looks like they have the means to help us out, but instead of helping us out, they want right around us. And then it gets down to a point where it says that they stripped him of his clothing. They wounded him and departed, leaving him half dead. Even in our own life, it's not literally saying that we have been stripped of our clothing. But there were times in our life when we were stripped from some things in our life. Could be money, it could be our health, it could be our family structure, it could be so many various diverse things. But we went through a period in time where we felt as though we had been robbed. Now, mind you, let's take a step back. This Jericho road was a very dangerous road. It was known that thieves and robbers would wait in the behind rocks to wait for people to walk along the Jericho road, and they would go and rob them. And somebody needs to understand that God will take you sometimes in dangerous roads.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will.
Just to prove his point. But one thing that stuck out to me, church, they said that they left him half dead. And many folks were upset about leaving them half dead. But I want somebody to praise God for being half dead. Because you weren't fully dead. And somebody in here needs to give God his glory right now. That although I was found half dead, I wasn't totally dead. Somebody in here needs to give him some glory. My family may be broken, but it's not killed. Somebody needs to give him some glory by saying, Lord, I want to thank you right now that I may be sick, but I'm not in the cemetery. Somebody needs to give him glory right now and saying, but I may be unemployed, but my bills are somehow being paid. Lord, I know that if I look at it on a negative, I would be depressed. But I just want to bless you right now, giving me a pulse and giving me a heartbeat and giving me some type of chance to get things all right. Somebody needs to give him glory for just being half dead. I want you to shout when he resuscitates you fully back to health. I want you to give him glory for sustaining you through the hard times. I want you to give him glory for sustaining you when you was half dead. I want you to give him glory for giving you the sustenance to sustain the hard times and the taskmasters. I want somebody to give him glory for not having those things like you. For going through things, for being a pastor, for being a 40. Thank you, Lord, for not killing me in the middle of my struggle. Thank you, Lord, for not killing me in the middle of my storm. Thank you, Lord. Somebody needs to praise him for sustaining you. I know we want to shout about how he raised me up and put food back on my table and put money on my pockets, and you want to praise him for the new job that you just got when you were unemployed. But I want somebody to praise him for the times when you did not have. I want somebody to praise him for the times when your home was not a home and yet he still kept you. I want somebody to praise him when you came home in depression and he still sustained you in the middle of all those storms. I dare somebody to praise him when you didn't want to turn the key in your home because you was opening the door to some hell, but he still kept you. I want somebody to praise him when you knew he was going into a bad situation and you knew you had to go through it, but yet God sustained you anyhow. I want somebody to praise him when it seems like the world was taking and not giving you, but God kept refueling you and renewing your strength. I want somebody to say the same. I was half dead, but I wasn't dead. Hallelujah, somebody. And the reason why you still living was because God interceded into your death warrant. God didn't pray for your heart. I said that God interceded when the death warrant was issued. And he said, no, do not kill him. Stop where you are. I'm going to tell you to pause this thing. Let me hear just a little bit more. Because your trouble could have killed you. Your road to Jericho could have killed you. But God on your side had interceded. They may have robbed you from your family. They may have broken up your home, but they did not kill you. And as long as you've got life, God can rebuild, he can renew, he can restore, he can rebuild, he can reconstruct. Come on, somebody ain't giving him enough glory. Because God could have been just like the priest. He could have been just like the Levite and saw you in the middle of the tragedy, and he could have walked around you. God don't owe you nothing. Somebody hear me right now. God has no obligation to you, but the compassion in which he has for his creation caused him to come and see about you. See, when you begin to look at how it's not equal, tragedy right now, but the love that I have for you lets me see past the wounds and pick you up and turn you right around. Enough compassion. Enough compassion. His compassion is measured beyond your fault. His compassion is more than what you're going through. His compassion is more than what you're going through right now. Meaning that he understands what you're going through. But he loves you to a point more than your tragedy. He loves you to a point now that he knows that I have to intercede or they're going to die. If I don't do nothing about it, they're going to die. I can't worry about what they can give me or what they have to offer. I've got to do something right now or they're going to die. How many of you know exactly what it is to be on the brink of death? And God said, if I don't do nothing right now, if I don't do nothing right now, they're going to die right now. If I don't interject right now, they're going to die in that gutter. If I don't do something right now, they're never going to get up. If I don't do something right now, their family will always be broken. If I don't do something right now, I need more. He needs more because he didn't have to do it, but he did it anyhow. If I didn't act, they would lay in the gutter, unnamed, not identified, unworthy. Nameless. No fingerprint. Nobody knew where the man was laying. Nobody was looking for the man. Oh, y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Come on. Somebody in here was laying in the gutter. And he was there so long and did so much wrong that nobody was looking for you.
That's right.
Search party to see where you've been and how long you've been there. You were there so long.
Come on.
Some of you only want to praise him when it's over. I want to praise him when them heads hit. When he saw the man, he didn't ask him what happened to him. How did you fall? How did it happen? Did you sin? What did you do? He asked no questions. He evaluated his wounds. He began to tend to his wounds. And not only did he tend to him, you got some folk that'll drop a little money in your pocket and keep on their way. But instead of helping you get out of your situation, they actually helping you stay in that situation. Amen, somebody. All right. We got some enablers in around the church that keep you in your addictions, that keep you bound, and instead of helping you get out and deal with the problem, they leave you right there, just a pillow to lay your head, just to go deeper. The priest walked around. The Levite walked around him. Come on, but the man who's not the priest not the Jew, not the tax collector sinner, but the fifth man down. The Samaritan who was looked at as being dirty. I don't want to do nothing with him. Could have done the same thing. Oh, I'm about to preach this real good right now.
Go ahead.
Because the Jews looked at him as being beneath them. The same way it happens even when we are in the midst of a crisis and God ain't doing what we want to do. We start looking at God as being the opposite. The causer of my distress, the causer of my pain, the causer of my troubles. Because if he was a real God, he would answer my prayer and help me out right now. But then the Samaritan came running into town. And the Samaritan owed him nothing. But he stopped. Because the compassion that he had was enough to oversee or supersede the condition in which he was in. He picked the man up. He dressed his wounds. And I can see how God was dressing my wounds as I was laying all up in the gutter. And he came and saw me bleeding out. And he checked my pulse. He still got some fight in him. I got something to use. Because if you got some fight in you, God can use you. He checked my pulse. He may look in a bad condition, but I can do something with bad stuff. I can turn bad stuff into good stuff. I can heal some stuff that's cut. I can heal some stuff that's wounded. It's not too much for me. And thanks be to God, and each and every one of us was laying in the gutter. And God looked at it and said, it's not too much for me. It's not too hard for me. It's not too difficult for me. I can still do it. Let me move in your favor because my compassion is drawing me to your tragedy. In the Old Testament, there was something called a mercy seat. The mercy seat was on top of the Ark of the Covenant. Oh, I'm about to preach real quick. And on the sides of each of the Ark of the Covenant was two angels. And in the middle of it was the seat. And what the priest used to do was dip some blood one time a year. And that would offer the mercy for the sins of the past year. And now if you read your text in the Bible, in the New Testament, when Mary Magdalene went to the tomb to see Jesus, there was two angels. One at the bottom and one at the top. And the mercy seat was Jesus. And when us saints begin to get low, and us saints start to fall on hard times, we begin to plead the throne, and Jesus begins to sit on the mercy seat. And the compassion begins to flow. And the compassion begins to flow. It said, by his grace, by his stripes, by everything that he's done, I am healed. Your grace and mercy, it brought me through. I'm living this moment because of you. The mercy seat sat Jesus down. And you begin to tell about your situation. The mercy seat causes compassion to see about you laying there.
Thank you, Lord. Come on.
Not only did he pick him up and dress his wounds, but he carried him. Have you ever been so broken
Come on.
that you could not move yourself? You were so broken that your prayer wouldn't even move. That you have been beaten down so much you had no faith to propel your prayer to God. Oh myself right
Yeah.
now.
Come on.
That God had to come down because I was destitute.
Yeah.
And he had to say, I know his prayer life was all out of shambles. He's going through so much drama that he has no faith and he has no power to propel his prayer to me. Holy Lord, Lord.
Yeah.
And I began to feel the rumbling on the throne. And Jesus began to look at his Father. And he began to look at my situation. And he began to say he needs an intercessor. He needs some help right now. Because he's trying, but yet he's failing. And when he begins to try so much and begins to fail so much, I've got to intercede. Oh, somebody here right now. And God has, Jesus interceded so many times and sat on the mercy seat for our life. I've been praying, but it ain't nothing answering. And I ain't praying, and ain't nothing answering. Jesus said, I've got to sit on the mercy seat.
That's right.
Thank you, Jesus.
He picked him up. Not only that, carried him all the way to the innkeeper. And still the man was unconscious, did not know what was going on. And if you look at your own life, there have been some times you have been so unconscious that God has carried you somewhere and you don't even know how you got there. Because you were sitting in the gutter for so long that you were so wiped out that God put you somewhere and you didn't even know how it happened. But then, not only did he drop him off, he told the innkeeper, here's 2 denarii to take care of them overnight. And if the bill begins to rise up, keep a tab for me. Because I'm coming back. Oh, somebody look at him right there. Give him 5 more minutes. Because God is so good. When he takes you to a place, he comes back to check up on you. Lord. And then God checks up on you. How are you doing? Did I work? Did I do everything that I need to do? Did I dress your wounds? Are you back in your right mind? Is there anything that I need to do for you? Do you need a follow-up? Let's check on your pulse. Are you praying that your faith back to where it needs to be? Are you built back on the foundation? He comes back to check on us. Somebody needs God to stop by right now. Somebody needs God to see that they are in a gutter right now. Somebody here needs God to stop what he's doing and to see about me. Somebody here is crying out to God, saying, Lord, I need you to stop what you're doing and see me in my condition. Lord, I need you to stop by and see about me. Somebody here is crying out at night, tears coming down their eyes, trying to understand why me, Lord. But God wants you to know that his compassion is enough to stop by and see about you. God wants somebody to be encouraged in the way of doing, and he still has enough compassion to see about you. Don't worry about your problem. Don't worry about your trouble. Don't worry about your circumstance. Know that God has enough compassion to stop by and see about you. The nights are filled with drama. Worry about the schooling. Worry about your children. Worry about your family. And God is saying, my compassion is enough to stop by and see about you. God don't have no statistics. He don't have nobody saying that the coincidence happened. God will stop by because of the compassion and see about you. Somebody needs to be encouraged. Right now, you're hitting wit's end. And you need somebody to tell you just to go a little bit longer. Somebody needs to be encouraged that God has compassion. the glory. Because he's with you when you're crying. Lord, Lord, Lord. And God is there to watch you. And he's there to wipe your tears away. We ought to give him glory in the bad times. People always get all excited about weeping. May endure for a night. But joy! My joy is coming in the morning. And I want somebody, my weeping, woo! May endure it. But just like my weeping is enduring, so is my God enduring. That means he's sustaining me through my midnight experience. I don't want Satan to get any part of my praise. Corinthians says, eyes have not seen, nor ears have heard, nor have entered into the heart of man, the things which God has prepared for those who love him. My love for my God has got to endure through my midnight. My love for my God has got to endure through the bad times in the doctor's office. My love for my God has got to endure through the breakups. The love for my God has got to endure through my tears. The love that I have for my God, knowing that he is able. I praise him for his ability. Oh my God. I'm praising for his ability, not what he's done. I'm praising him for what he can do. Somebody's searching for a one-on-one experience with God. Hoping that he hears their prayer. Asking God, Lord, I've been here for so long. And I keep seeing people pass me by. People are progressing in their professions. People are getting better jobs. People are being elevated around me. And Lord, instead of my situation getting any better, my situation is getting worse. My family continues to be broken. My money still seems to be low. I seem to not get my relationship right. Everything, Lord, is sinking me further into my gutter. But in the middle of all that crisis, church, I want you to give God praise for still being half dead. Lord, my prayer ain't answered, but I still got a pulse. Thank you, Lord. Sometimes you got to start real simple. Lord, it ain't answered, but thank you for waking me up this morning. Father, thank you. Lord, I know I'm still in the gutter, but thank you, Father, because you're still sustaining me while I'm in the gutter. Lord, I'm still wounded. I still can't get over the tragedies of my past, and I can't move forward based on broken relationships. But Lord, I just want to thank you for new mercies I see morning after morning, because every morning I wake up is a new mercy, and God wants you to look at the new mercy instead of the old tragedy. And the more you pray to him, one day God is going to have enough compassion see about you. But just hold on just a little while longer, and you will be all right. As I closed, there's a song I like to say. You ought to have been there when he saved my soul. And then one day you'll be able to sing that song when God finally has enough compassion to raise you up out of your situation. you can shout and say, you ought to be there. When he saved my soul.
I just wanted to come and remind you to tune into us on Throwback Thursdays. Always stay tuned on your YouTube channel because we always go back in time just to give you a new word. You never know when you'll need it next. Thanks for listening. Can't wait to see you next time.